specialize in different areas if you would then be interested in pursuing something different.
Okay, thank you. So
Is that
hello,
your
Mr.
dog there, Craig?
Sorry?
I saw. Is that your dog there? I saw.
Yes.
Yeah. What is his name? I'm not sure. Is it
This,
he or she?
yes, this is he. This is Loki.
Okay.
You know, like the character from the Marvel films, because he is the Lord of Mischief, and he is a very mischievous boy. He's currently eating my hat, so he is mischievous. Thank you. But yeah, this is
All right.
Loki. He is about 18 months old. Thank you. He's quite small. About this size.
All right. Yeah, they can grow. They can grow pretty big, right?
Well, luckily he's his breed is a mix between a Maltese and a poodle. So poodles are usually quite big, but Maltese are quite small. He's around 7.5 kilograms. I don't think he's going to get any bigger. But if it was a different breed, like a golden doodle, which is like a golden retriever, and a poodle, they get big. They get to like 25, 30, 40 kilograms. So he's luckily quite small.
Okay, so that sorry. Okay, so thank you for answering these questions. We'll continue with the next question. And his topic is
So hello, Mister. My name is Nazmi, the same name as Mr. Nazmi. And my topic I'm gonna be questioning you is career. So my first question is, I just want to know, what is your main job right now?
So my current role, I don't know if Mr. Nazmi has told you anything about my history. Um, I have been working as a primary school teacher, which is the students that are younger than you. So I usually teach students which are aged between 7 and 9. I've just gotten a new role, and the role in which I am working just now is in Liverpool, in England, and I am working as an additional support needs teacher. So I will teach students who have additional support needs. These needs can be both mental and physical. So I have students who have a condition called Down syndrome. If you're not familiar with that, please let me know and I can let you know more about it. I also have students who have conditions known as autism, ADHD. Then I have other students with things such as cerebral palsy, which is a physical disability, which limits, it's called a debilitating condition, which means that their muscles weaken as they grow older. And they find it difficult to walk and talk because it can sometimes affect the muscles in their throats. But that's my current role. I am teaching students with additional support needs, and I am teaching what is called a post-16 class. So it's students from the ages 16 to 19. I have 10 students in my class.
When you teach the people in needs, what is the hardest thing you have to do about it?
That's a very good question. When I work with students with additional support needs, the expectation is a little bit different to working with students such as yourselves at MRSM. These students, it is a little less likely that they will go to places such as university and they will go to places and get jobs. The big focus for them is to make sure that they are able to provide good to society and they're able to act good in society. Some difficulties we have is with communication. So some students are non-verbal, which means they do not speak, and they struggle to convey their emotions. So if a student is upset, if you or I were upset, we might be able to share that with someone and ask for help. Some students are unable to verbally say they are upset, which might result in them being angry and hitting or biting. So some of these actions are a little bit difficult, but we need to remember that this is a form of communication. So they're just trying to tell us something. They're just not always able to do so with the words like you and I could do. So that's something that is quite difficult, but it's important obviously to be patient and take your time to try and understand what the students are trying to share. I'm so sorry, I can't hear you any longer. I don't know if the microphone has gone quiet. If you could maybe speak up a little bit for me, I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
so sorry, Mr. Net. Oh, I can hear now, yeah.
All right. Maybe you need to use this.
Hello.
Thank you.
Right. So with my last question, if you couldn't work in your current field, what other job will you choose?
Another fantastic question, guys. I'm very impressed by you all. I think that I would like to maybe work, if I wasn't working in my field at the moment in education, I think I would like to work in something like social work, which is working with families who need support. I'm not too familiar with the system that might be in Malaysia, but if there are families who, need financial aid or need financial support or need respite, which is when someone will like take care of their child for a short period of time, that's something I would like to do to support families. It's a bit similar to education, but that's what I would like. If I wasn't doing that, I would love to be like a dog walker. I do very much like dogs. So that's a little bit of a different one. But yeah.
Hello.
Okay, so we have completed 2 people. So we'll continue with Adi, and his topic is about hardships.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
My name is Adi and my question is about your hobby. What is your main hobby or favorite activity to do in your free time?
I quite enjoy going to the gym in my free time. More so things like weights. I don't like running. I'm not very good at it. But I like some weightlifting in my free time.
Okay, thank you. When and how did you first get interested in this hobby?
I think it was maybe around the time I'm 29 just now. Maybe around the time I was 25. Um, I started to go to the gym with my brother, who's 3 years younger than me. Um, he really enjoyed that hobby, so I started to go with him, and then I moved country. I moved to Dubai, and I kept going. So it started as a social thing with my brother, but I moved because I like the routine and I like to keep doing it.
Thank you. And next question, how do you balance pursuing your hobbies with your professional work or studies?
That's a very good question as well. I think the balance is just making sure that you can. I think it's setting expectations for yourself. And like, yes, I do enjoy to do my hobbies. And I need to make sure I have like a list of priorities. My priorities are my work or my studies. And sometimes say in 1 week, I have to do all of my work and my studies. That's the most important thing. My hobby is second, so I try to find time for that. But I need to make sure that I don't overwork myself. If I do feel as though my mood is declining or I need a break, I feel like that's my body or my brain telling me that I need to take some time to myself. So it's important to make sure, especially, I know that you will all be studying very hard as Mr. Nazmi's A-level students as well. So it is important to make sure that we do make some time for these. The way that I do that is I try and listen to my brain. And even if I'm not going to the gym for lifting some weights, I might take 30 minutes of my day to put on some headphones and go and walk my dog, or take some time to just relax.
Right, that's good. All right, now the microphone's working.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
My name is Ayman, and today my question is about your traveling experience. And my first question is, where was the most memorable place you have traveled to?
Wow, that is another fantastic question. I have been so lucky in being able to travel. Obviously, I have lived in Malaysia for 1 year. I lived in Malaysia from 2015 until 2016. Malaysia was my home for a year, so it holds some very special memories for me. I've also lived in Dubai for 3.5 years. This is also was my home and has a lot of special memories. Um, when I was able to go on travels like for adventure, I think my favorite might be Vietnam or Cambodia. They have a very rich history, and I enjoy reading about history. So I've been very lucky in everywhere that I've been. I think of Malaysia and Dubai, they are more so of a home than they are a travel place. So where I traveled, I think of Cambodia and Vietnam.
Okay, next question is, who did you travel with?
So I've traveled with some of my friends who I met in Malaysia. I have traveled with these are my friends that I have known since Malaysia. So since 2015, we have been friends for around 11 years now, and I do a lot of traveling with them.
Okay, what is your dream travel destination? Your dream travel destination?
Ooh, my dream. I think I've never been to the continent of South America. I would like to go to maybe Argentina or Peru. I would like Peru so I could see Machu Picchu, I think is how you say it. That's somewhere that I would really like to travel. Where would your travel destination be? Your dream?
My dream travel destination is Japan.
That's a very good choice as well. I've also I went to Japan in 2018. I went for 1 month. It's a very good choice.
Oh, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So good evening, Mr. Craig.
So I will start with introducing myself first. My name is Ferregas. So my topic of question today is adaptability and growth. So my first question is, how do you typically react when plans change unexpectedly at the last minutes?
Hmm. That's a very good question as well. How do I typically react when plans change at the last minute? I think it can sometimes come with some disappointment, which would be understandable. I think when you have something you're looking forward to, you can be disappointed if those plans change. What I would like to do is, if it's possible, I would like to still follow through on those plans for myself, because if I make plans with someone, I want to see that person and I want to do that thing. So, for example, if a friend was to tell me that they could no longer come to see a movie that we had planned that evening, I would go myself, and it would be a bit upsetting because I wouldn't have my friend there. But we make plans for things that both of us that you want to do with a friend. So I would try and make the situation positive. And although I might feel a bit upset or disappointed that I wasn't able to spend time with my friend, I would still like to do something nice and enjoyable for myself. So I would try to follow through with the plans, even if it means I am on my own.
Right, thank you for answering that question. So my second question is, can you share an example of major life transition you had to navigate?
Sorry, could you repeat that for me?
Uh, Sorry. Um, can you share an example of major life transition you had to navigate?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, moving countries is quite a major life change. Um, when I first moved to Malaysia, it was in 2015. I was 18 years old, and it was my first time that I lived alone. I did not live with my parents. I luckily was able to stay at MRSM Gerik whilst I was there. Um, the way in which I was able to overcome these challenges is, I think it's very important to have what we might call a support network. Um, we're very lucky nowadays. We can do things like video calls, we can text, we can WhatsApp, we can do all of that. So I made sure, even my grandparents are 85 years old. I taught them how to use Skype and Teams because I knew that I would like to speak to them at some point. So I just made a support network to make sure that I could still talk with my friends. I think also approaching things with positivity. It can be scary and challenging to do new things, especially major life changes. But if you focus on the negative things, then you will have a negative experience. I like to think about having a positive growth mindset and making sure that I look for the positive things instead of focusing on some negatives. So although I may be scared or nervous, or may feel uncomfortable, I will embrace all new challenges and always have a smile.
All right, thank you. For my last question is, what is a completely new skill that you decided to learn recently, and how did you approach it?
Ooh. Now, this is something that I have not yet done, but it's something that I am planning on doing. My wife and her family, they enjoy skiing, which is like on the snow with the two skis and you ski. I have never
Yeah.
done it before, but they want to travel in December to go skiing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and learn that new skill. Um, my first my first idea, what I have booked in for next month, I'm going to go to an indoor ski slope, and I'm going to work with a teacher. So someone is going to teach me how to ski. I think it's best to try this head on, jump in and try my best with a little bit of help, and hopefully I will be able to survive and not roll down the hill, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Craig.
Okay, if I can just like, the questions are so difficult. Or can we just like, make it a little bit more casual, right? Uh,
It's
okay,
absolutely okay, Mr. Nazmi, not a problem at all.
okay, right, yes.
Hello. I'm Fahim. Okay, so I will be asking questions related to culture. Okay, so for my first question, is there anything about Scottish culture that you wish Malaysians knew more about?
Ooh. I think that in Scottish culture, something I wish that Malaysians knew more about. We have quite a lot of different things. I think obviously that dress is a very important part of a country's culture. I know there's traditional dress in Malaysia. You may have also seen Mr. Nazmi last year at the UN conference, I believe. He was representing Scotland with the Scottish traditional dress. I think that he has brought some information to you that's very important, but that's something that I would happily share as well. There's a lot of different reasons why in Scottish culture the men wore what's called kilts. It was actually used as a battle technique. So, hundreds, even thousands of years ago, when there was wars between the Scottish and the English, the Scottish would wear their kilts, the English would wear suits of armour. The Scottish would wear their kilts as an intimidation tactic. So they would say to them, "We don't care that you have all of this. We have our kilts and we have our shirts and we are ready to fight for our country." So it's not only, a beautiful piece of clothing, it's got a large history of strength, bravery, resilience, defiance. It's a very important part of Scottish culture.
Okay. For my next question, what was your first impression of Malaysian people, and has that impression changed?
Oh, wow. I cannot sing or say highly enough my first impression of Malaysia and Malaysian people as well. As soon as I landed from my home country, I left when I was 18. I was missing my mum and dad. I was in a new country and I was scared or nervous. And the first thing I met my host family. I was taken to go and eat some food. One of the things that I always remember in Scotland or in the UK, we will often say like, "Hello, how are you?" When I was in Malaysia, I remember that usually Malay people would say, "Have you eaten yet?" Instead of saying hello or how are you, they will ask if you are hungry or if they can feed you. And that was my first impression. Malaysian people are so kind, so caring, and want to make sure that you are, happy and healthy. That's my first impression. It has not changed. I still have the privilege of speaking alongside with Mr. Nazmi. I also have spoken with several other teachers who have worked within your English department. And although it has been 10 years and since we last saw each other, it feels like no time has changed at all. Mr. Nazmi will reach out to me and send me kind words, and it's nice to always have a friend. So that my impression is a very good one.
Okay, I could see you really love Malaysian people. So I'll pass the mic to somebody else. Okay, so for my questions, my topic is about leadership. But before that, I would like to confirm something. Because you look like a professional person, do you have any experience with big positions that require
high levels of leadership?
Yes, so whilst I worked in Dubai, in my school, I was promoted. I was given the job of the head of year. That meant that I had my own classroom. So the way that it works in primary school, you may have experienced this when you were younger, but you have one class and one class teacher who teaches you maths, science, English, all of the topics. That is how we do it in how it is done in my school in Dubai. And I was given the role of the head of year 6. So that means that I had my own class and I taught all of my students, but I also had 3 other classes that I was in charge of. I also had a team who I worked with as well.
Okay, so based on that, you look like a very busy man. So you travel, you volunteer, you help this, that. So can you give us some tips on how to manage our time? Do we need a diary to write our homework projects, or do we need an application in our devices that automatically organizes our schedules? So, on your opinion, what's the best way to manage our time as students here?
That's a very good question. I think one of my top the best thing that I've been told or recommended is just to learn how to prioritize. Make sure that you have if you have a to do, well, first of all, make sure you write a to do list down. It's very satisfying when you get to tick one of your jobs off. I think that's a really important thing. That's something I still do to this day. The next thing would be to prioritize. So if you have a list of 10 things to do, what's the number one thing that has to be done? And then you can work your way down that list in terms of priorities. For example, when I was head of year, I often give my team lots of jobs that they had to complete. I would also give my students lots of jobs they have to complete. But I would say, what I want you to do now is this. Once this is complete, you move on to this task. So just making sure that you know what is the most important thing to do in your to-do list and then complete it. When you complete a task, find something that works for you as a small celebration. I really enjoy like things like when I was studying, I told myself when I complete 10 pages of this copybook that I am working on, I can reward myself, and I rewarded myself with like some sweet gummies, because that's what I like to eat. So I would always make sure you are congratulating yourself and giving yourself a reward as well. Maybe some, if after one night of studying, you can give yourself some Milo ice or something nice for you.
Okay, oh, that's a very good tips for us. Okay, so for my next question, um, what mindset do I need to put in myself so I can become a great leader?
I think after I've mentioned this mindset a couple times, I will reiterate as well. I think it is about having a positive mindset. Um, I think all of the teachers within MRSM and all of your family and all of your friends will want you to succeed. And you need to remember all of the love and support that you have behind yourself. When you do find things difficult, try not to focus too much on that difficulty. There was actually a study, there's a video on YouTube. I can send it to Mr. Nazmi at some point after our meeting today, which talks about like positive affirmations versus negative affirmations. And it's about the way that you speak to not only other people, but also yourself. The study was they had two plants, two trees, and one tree was told positive things. So they said to this tree, "You're handsome, you're tall, chomel, you work hard." They said all the nice things to this tree. And to this tree, they said negative things, said, you're ugly, you're bad, you don't work hard. And then there's a big difference in the two trees. After 1 month of being told positive things, the positive tree grows and flourishes and is green and beautiful. Whereas the tree that is negative, it starts to rot. And this was a real study that was done. And it is just to show that so long as you treat yourself positively, you're able to grow as a person and you're able to succeed. Whereas if you are focusing on negative thoughts, you will not be able to become the person that you want to be. You will not be able to grow. So I think it's just making sure that that you do face adversity and these challenges do come, but you overcome them with a positive mindset.
Wow. Okay. So just thank you for those tips. So I would like to continue with the next question.
Perfect.
Okay, so hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Can
you.
you hear me? Okay. My name is Nisa, and my questions are going to be about personal values and ethics. So my first question is, how do you handle pressure in life?
Ooh, pressure is something that is often faced, and I know that it can be quite difficult. In terms of handling pressure, I think I would maybe just refer back to some of the previous answers. First of all, if I am in a situation that I do find difficult and I feel overwhelmed, I think making a list and prioritizing what I need to do gives me some relief. Um, as you continue to grow, and as you continue to grow older, you will find yourself in some amazing situations, and you will also find yourself in situations where you face pressure. It also is important to remember that you have had these challenges before. I know that you will have, if we're talking about things such as exam pressures, you have faced these pressures before in earlier forms, but you have succeeded and you have done well and you're here. So it's important to remember that, when there is pressure, you have accomplished so much already, and you know that you have worked hard before and you can do it again.
Okay, thank you. So for my next question is, what core principles or values guide your daily decisions?
I think that I think respect is a big one, in terms of making sure that everyone that I interact with feels respected. I think I would also ask for respect back as well. That's a core value of mine. Patience is a big core value. I like to make sure that I make time for people and make time for myself, especially in my line of work. When people are communicating, if they are communicating with behaviors that are challenging or difficult, it is important to remember to be patient, because some people face more difficulties than we do. So yeah, respect, patience, honesty as well is a very important policy for myself. Making sure that we are honest to one another, because if you are honest, then that means that people can help you. If you're finding something difficult, there's no point in hiding it and being shy. If you're honest and open, that helps you, and it helps other people help you as well.
Okay, thank you for the tips. And my last question is, who's your role model that has shaped the way you are now?
I've been very lucky in my life. I've got lots of people who are very important to me. My English teacher, when I was in high school, his name was Mr. Clark. He was a very important man for me. He helped me when I was applying to work, to volunteer in Malaysia with Project Trust, and he encouraged me to do that. So he was a very helpful man. My mother and father, they are fantastic role models. They have provided me with lots of amazing opportunities in my life and supported me throughout them as well. And I've got some amazing friends and family members. So these are all my role models.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Arya, and can you hear me well?
Yes.
All right. So my topic is about volunteer. So the first question is, what specifically drew you to volunteer for this great project or organization?
Oh, awesome question. When I so when I graduated high school, or just before I graduated high school, I wanted to have a little bit more experience before going straight into university, because I had been in education for, I think, 12 years, when you're from primary school all the way to secondary school. And then if you go to university as well, you have a lot of education. I wanted to make sure that I had some time to gain some real life experience as well. That was my big driving force to work with Project Trust. It was a big topic when I lived in Malaysia and was volunteering along with Mr. Nazmi there. We got to learn what opportunities are available. There's lots of different organizations that do support young people in opportunities to volunteer, and this can include things in which you're interested in. If any of you are interested in working alongside animals or being, like veterinarians, reach out to companies, reach out to people, send emails or phone calls and ask if they would allow you to work alongside them. The big reason is because it's important to get that real life experience. When I volunteered in Malaysia, I was like 90% sure I wanted to be a teacher, but I wanted to be 100% sure before I started my path in university. So I volunteered so I could get some experience and know that it was the right job for me.
All right. For the second question is, what are the greatest personal benefits you gain from volunteering?
I have had the pleasure of meeting lots of new people. Obviously, without volunteering, this opportunity would not be possible. I'm very privileged and honoured to be speaking with all of you this evening. So that's a big benefit for me. I get to meet lots of people from different walks of life. I also was able to gain lots of experience in my current field of work as well, and that was very important for me. So meeting people, making new friends, forming connections, and understanding what my career path would look like. Those are the benefits.
Hi, how are you? I'm
Hello.
Kyrene, and we've got an information that you teach in Malaysia for about 1 year, if I'm not wrong. Is that right?
That's
So
correct.
I want to ask about your teaching experience in Malaysia and also in Scotland. Okay. So my first question is, what made you choose Malaysia as a place to teach?
Oh, that's a very good question. The reason that I was drawn to Malaysia is because I had been lucky enough to visit Vietnam and Cambodia beforehand. So I had the pleasure of doing a small bit of traveling in Southeast Asia. I knew they are some of your border countries where you've got Thailand here, but these countries border Malaysia. And I know, although they are very different, I knew that that area of the world was something that I loved. I loved the weather, the cuisine, the people. So that's what drew me to Malaysia.
Okay. And my next question is, what are the most drastic differences between students from Scotland and Malaysia?
Oh, that is a very interesting question. My experience working in Malaysia is I worked in MRSM, which is obviously we would call it a boarding school, a school where students stay. In Scotland, that's not very common. Most schools are what are called public schools, so students go to school and then they go home at the end of the day. That was a big difference. I think a large difference that I've noticed, I think it might be work ethic, and not to be disrespectful to my own country, but the students in Scotland that I have worked with, they don't have as much of a work ethic, as big as a work ethic as students in Malaysia. When I was able to work alongside Mr. Nazmi and the team at MRSM Gerik, students worked so hard in Malaysia. I know it is a boarding school, and you really want to be there. Sometimes some of my students in Scotland did not always want to be there. So that's a little bit of a difference.
Okay. And overall, was the teaching experience fun for you? Fun for you lah, in Malaysia. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was, as I've said, it was my first experience teaching. I had never done it before. I went straight from school and then was able to volunteer. So it was my first experience, and I got to learn a lot about myself. I had fantastic mentors with Mr. Nazmi, who taught me a lot of what I now do today, and how to speak to pupils, how to teach, how to inspire, even how to be engaging and how to speak in an interesting way. So yeah, I learned a lot. It was a very important experience.
Mr. Craig. Hello. My name is Laika, and I'm going to talk about discipline. So the first thing is, do you think discipline is important for achieving long-term success?
I think that discipline is important. I think it would maybe be more so in terms of consequences, as the way that I would phrase it. I think that all actions have consequences, and it's important for you, especially at this age, to realize this. If you do something, then there is a consequence. If you do not do something, there is a consequence. And at school, this is a very important place to learn, because you are given rules in school. If you do not follow these rules, there will be consequences. So yes, I think it is very important, because when you get older and when you leave school, you will be given more independence. For example, at university, at University of Edinburgh, where I went to, they did not take registers. So I had the responsibility of going to class. If I didn't go to class, then the consequence was that I didn't learn, and that's my fault. It's not the fault of the teacher. So yeah, consequent. Every action has a consequence. I think that's an important lesson to learn.
Okay. Tell me about a time when you had to discipline someone.
Ooh, that's a very interesting question as well. When I work, so recently when I was in Dubai, I had one student. Actually, sorry, it was two students. Two students. They were in my year 4 class, when they were 8 and 9 years old. In my classroom, and I know that in classrooms that you're in, we have a respect policy. So, do not speak over people, raise your hand if you would like to talk, make sure you are listening, all of these simple things. And one of these students kept on not following the simple rules. So what happened is we have like a policy. So the first time I will give a warning, and I will take that student and I will ask them to step out of class. I will speak to them and I just say, listen, these are the expectations. You are not following the expectations. This is your warning. If the students then done it again, which meant that they lost their break time. So they were meant to have a break, but instead of having break, they had to sit down with me and they had to write down what they did wrong and how they are going to fix it next time. Luckily, that helped. But there are other instances where sometimes the students keep on going, which means that they meet with their, sometimes with the vice principal, sometimes with the principal if the problems keep on getting bad. But that's out with my control. So I deal with what's in my class. Yeah, that would be just a small example.
Okay, for my last question, how do you stay focused and motivated when working on long projects?
Ooh, that's another good question. In terms of focus and motivation, I think it's important to remember that there is an end goal for you whilst you're in Form 2. I know that you will be working towards your exams towards the end of the year, and obviously as you continue to get older, you may be even looking into university options, college options, or possibly even some volunteering. So to be focused is to set yourself a goal, something that you want to do. So if if you have to study one evening or pass a test the next day, the reason that you want to do that is because this is what you want to accomplish. So making sure that you do set yourself a goal. You can do 3 different types of goals. You can do a short-term goal, a medium-term goal, and a long-term goal. So your long-term goal might be something like university or further education. Your medium-term goal might be good results at the end of the academic year, exam year, and your short-term goal could be, to pass a quiz in class, or to improve something that you've been challenging yourself for. So that's definitely for motivation. For focus, like I said a little bit earlier, I think it's important to reward yourself. So focus, making sure that once I've done this, I can treat myself to 5 minutes on my phone, or I can read a book for 20 minutes, or I can eat some sweets. It depends, whatever you would like to reward yourself with.
Hi.
Hi.
So my name is Zara. I'm going to ask you a few questions about hardships, but there's this one question that are in my mind, and it's not about hardship, it's out of topic. Well, from what I've understand, you said to Nazmi questions that if you are not an education if you are not an educational, you will live to do the social work. You really live to help other people. But I really want to know what makes you think, or when did you realize that you really love to do this kind of thing, like being a useful people in this kind of society? Why do you really love
Ooh,
to help other people?
that's a very good question. I think it was probably when I was in school. When I was in school, I was given like jobs. So I would have been like the class monitor, or any form of responsibility within class or in school, I really enjoyed doing that. It gave me a lot of joy, and it made me happy. I also think that my parents have done a very good job as well in raising me. They taught me to, be respectful and be kind to other people, and that's something that I want to do. I'm also very aware of how lucky I am. I've had a lot of luck in my life, had a lot of fantastic experiences and opportunities, and I know that not everyone is able to do that. So I would like to bestow like some of my luck and my experiences onto other people. So I want to share my luck.
Well, okay, now I understand. So I'm going to ask you a question about hardships. So, um, what was the hardest part about adapting to life in Malaysia?
Ooh, I think probably two things. The first thing for me would be the heat. I don't know if you're too familiar with Scotland. Scotland is a very wet and cold country. We've been very lucky this summer. This summer has hit maybe around 20, 25 degrees Celsius, which is crazy for Scotland. It's often our average temperature is around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. I don't know if you've been to the Cameron Highlands, but that's kind of what Scotland feels like all year round. So that was the first thing that was quite difficult. And I think another thing is in terms of culture. In Malaysia, it is a predominantly Muslim country. Scotland is predominantly Christian. So there were some different religious and cultural differences that we had, that was new and interesting to get used to. Things such as when you shake hands, if I would shake hands with a man, but I would not shake hands with females, I would put my hand on my chest just to greet people, which is something I actually still do nowadays because I think it's very respectful. But that was a new I wouldn't say it was a new experience for me. And I learned, luckily I got to learn a lot. Like I said, when I went to university, I was actually inspired by my time in Malaysia because I wanted to learn more about other religions. So in my time in university, I learned about Islam and Christianity and other religions as well. Yeah.
Okay. The last question from me, Mr. Craig. So, you were here back then in 2015. You're very young back then. You're 18 when you are here. Have you ever faced a situation where you felt like an outsider? Like, how do you handle it when you felt like an outsider back then?
I think, like I said previously, making sure that you have a good support system. I was very lucky with my parents and with my friends. They all wanted the best for me. And I knew that this was an opportunity that not a lot of people get to have. So as I've said previously, it's making sure that, I focused on those positive experiences. And it's given me opportunities throughout the world now. I've had a chance to work in Malaysia and Dubai. I'm now in England and Liverpool. So yeah, I think in being so young, I felt quite. I think I'm quite an adventurous person as well. When I was 16 years old, I went bungee jumping. The one where you bounce on a rope. I used to do things such as like trampolining, with like lots of flips. I used to play a lot of sports. I used to like I said before, I came to Malaysia. I've been to Hong Kong with my school. I went to Cambodia and Vietnam. I worked in an orphanage. I trekked through a jungle. So I think it's just those life experiences, making sure that I was able to get out of my comfort zone at a young age, and experience new things. It gave me a lot of strength and resilience, to be able to achieve these things.
Thank you a lot, Mr. Craig. Alright, so my name here is Raisha, and today I'll be asking you about things that relates with academic. I have two questions here. So for my first question is, have you ever experienced an academic validation moment in your life?
And a what moment? Sorry.
Okay, I'll repeat. Have you ever experienced an academic validation moment in your life?
An academic validation moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Sorry, just clarifying. Yeah, definitely. I think when I was accepted into university, that was something that was very validating for me. I was able to, all of my hard work had paid off. The way we do this in Scotland is a little bit different. We have our two finals. Well, we do 3 years of exams. So we do fourth, fifth, and sixth year. So here we do like our. I can't remember if it's in Malaysia if it was O levels, but in Scotland we do something similar to our O levels. Then we do our A levels for 2 years. So I done English, maths, PE, biology, history, religion, and yeah. So I done 7 A levels, and I was able to get the grades that I needed to get into university. So that was very validating for me. And then obviously graduating university as well was a big validation for myself. I also, before I started to do my exams, I was put into a special class. In Scotland, we have the opportunity to sit your exams 1 year early, so it's almost as if you are like fast tracked. And I was lucky enough to be chosen for that. And that was also very, very validating because I worked very hard to get into that program. So yeah.
Okay, thanks. That must be hard for you. And for my last question is, this is a bit random, but do you think eating habits have a significant impact on academic performance? If so, why?
Definitely. I think habits have an impact on the way in which you do anything. Um, I can tell you something that may be a little bit perhaps embarrassing, but when I was a little bit younger, before I done my exams, I didn't have very good habits. My habits were to be very lazy and to sleep a lot. But then I started to care about my academic performances. This was after primary school. I wanted to build these habits. So a very easy habit is when you wake up, make your bed in the morning. It's something that you do because it wakes your brain up and ready to get used to something. But in terms of academics, I think habits are very, very important because it becomes part of your routine. If you don't have a routine, then you kind of just like float around and you don't really know what you're doing. Whereas if you schedule your day and you know that, okay, I can have 30 minutes for 30 minutes for reading a book for English studies, and they can have a 30-minute break, then I can have 30 minutes for maths, and then a 30-minute break. I think it's important to build these habits and yeah.
Okay, thank you for having my question, Mr. Craig.
So I'm the last person to gonna ask you some questions. So my name is Nofan, and I would like to ask you some tips. So we're moving to my first questions. As we all know, your job is a teacher. So tips can you give students on maintaining good health and energy during exam season?
Oh, that is a very important question. It's very, very important to make sure that you are looking after yourself. I know that it is tempting to before and the night before an exam. It is tempting to stay up late to do all of your revision. Do not do that. It is so important that you get sleep, that you eat well, and that you drink plenty of water. When we talk about things such as habits, if you are able to build into your routine from the start of the academic year, these 30 minutes of studying, that means that over the entire year, you can study for 30 minutes every single day. If you don't have that habit and do the small studies every day, that means closer to the exam, you panic study and you don't get sleep and you become stressed, and it will negatively impact your well-being. So definitely remember the basic things of looking after yourself: food, water, and sleep. That is a very big recommendation.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. So for my last questions, as we know, you can be a traveler. So my question is, what are your top tips for someone who wants to start traveling abroad for the first time?
Oh, wow. That is a very, very good question. I think I would definitely recommend finding some friends.
Right, we are losing your audio. We're losing your audio. Yeah. Did you do something with your audio? I can see that you have the microphone, your microphone. Is there something with your microphone? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't know
yeah.
what happened there.
Okay,
Sorry
okay.
about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
sorry.
you're
So,
saying?
yeah, in terms of traveling, find like-minded people. Um, so make sure you have some friends who are also interested in traveling, because it is something that you would like to do together. Um, I would also recommend planning in advance. Now, if it is your first trip, you need to know what it is that you want to do when you get to a country, because there's nothing worse than landing and then making things up and having to Google things when you're in a different country. So make an itinerary of what you would like to do. I know that we had earlier a dream travel destination was Japan, and I'm sure that some of you may also want to visit there at some point as well. So because Japan is such a large country, you need to know what time of year you want to go. Do you want to see the cherry blossoms? You would have to go in March or May time. Do you want to see some snow? Because you'd have to travel up north. Do you want to see cultural sites? Because it'd be good to travel to like Hiroshima. Or do you want to, buy a bunch of Pokemon cards and play Pokemon games? You have to go to Tokyo. So it's about knowing what you want to do from that journey and finding friends who want to do the same thing with you, and plan in advance. Give yourself time to save up money and to plan where to go.
So thank you, Mr. Craig, for answering my questions.
Okay, so Mr. Craig, we would like to say thank you very much. Hence, that leads to the end of the interview. This interview has been a blast with the amount of information, guidance, and tips you have given to us. We hope that you can continue your success career or possibly improve and have a happy future. Okay. So we also want to apologize for anything that might have made you felt uncomfortable or anything. Also, we would like to congratulate on your wedding last month.
Thank you.
Bless me to us.
Oh. All right, thank you. Thank you so
We
much,
hope
everybody.
that your marriage will be strong and forever together. Okay.
Oh, thank you
We
so
hope
much.
that
Terima
we
kasih.
we hope that we have more opportunities to have more interviews with you in the future. All right. So thank you very much.
Of course, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time and thank you for your very well thought questions as well. I can see why you have all been chosen to join Mr. Nazmi here as his A students. So well done. Keep working hard and hopefully we can meet again in the future.
All right. So thank you so much, everybody. All right. For your time. Thank you also to Mr. Craig. All right, for his time. And it's not. It was not supposed to turn to an interview. All right. But yeah. I know they chat GPT some of the questions. Pray, you have your wife with you right now?
Unfortunately, not at the moment. She's away to go meet a friend. They're going paddle boarding. They've gone to a nearby lake. I was
see.
expecting her home, and maybe she should be home in the next hour, but unfortunately, she's not here at the moment.
Yeah. Do you know paddle boarding, everybody? If you've seen it on TV,
It's almost like
it's like
surfing, but
they're
with no
standing
waves,
on
just
a
like the foam.
surfing board, like a surfing
Yeah.
board is standing on it.
Exactly.
Great. It's summer right now. It's summer.
Yes.
There.
Yeah,
You're in
currently in summer.
Liverpool or you're in Scotland right now? You're in
I'm
Liverpool
in
right now.
Liverpool just now. Yeah.
I see. What's the weather like? I mean, like summer there.
Let me see if I can show you. I'll spin my camera around. Whew. Get my windows open. Hold on. Oops. Actually, I'll just go into the back garden. I'll get my shoes on. Hold on.
No problem. No problem.
So I think we're currently sitting at. Let me check the temperature. Oh, it's about 19 degrees just now. This is our home. I can spin it around so I can show you what our home looks like. So this is a 3-story home, and we've got 2 bedrooms upstairs. We have our bathroom, bedrooms here, and this is our going down to the first floor.
Yeah,
the ground floor.
That's him.
It's actually a friend's birthday yesterday, so that's what all the birthday signs are for. This is. This is outside. Yeah, we're about 19 degrees Celsius just now. Apologies if the Wi-Fi is a bit skippy because we are outside, but it's a relatively clear sky today.
Yeah.
Nice big white clouds.
It's 19 over there. I think this room is warmer. Yeah, we have 3 ACs running at the moment. Still.
No, I remember when I first moved over in August, and I think it would be around this time, 11 years ago, and yeah, I think it almost felt like getting slapped in the face by 35 degrees Celsius heat. So yeah, I can imagine how warm it is.
All right, Craig. I think that concludes our session, I guess. All right. We would like to that concludes our session. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to see you again. Kids, they're able to see you again. Perhaps you know, working on a something together. Perhaps whatever opportunities could bring us in the future. All right.
Sounds amazing.
So keep in touch, I guess. All right. Any
Wonderful.
last word, would you like to give to the kids, Craig?
I think just obviously it shows how hard you've worked today for your questions. I think, as I said earlier, I've noticed that a lot of students have a very strong work ethic in MRSM Gerik, and I would encourage you to keep that up. Continue to work hard, and yeah, just remember that if you are ever interested in anything such as traveling or volunteering, definitely have a speak with Mr. Nazmi. He can reach out to myself, and we can also have a look at what opportunities are available to you. Just make sure that you have some amazing experiences and with your good friends, and enjoy yourselves.
All right. I think that's all. All right. So thank you so much again for your time. All right. So I guess this is goodbye. All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
All right, everybody. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right.
Bye. Thank you.